Okay, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah by Hashem Harakak Wadas Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth. Peace and the truth with faith and sincerity. Once again, this is your fellow servant Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, coming at you with another lesson. I was reading last week out of a book called "The Truth About." It says Black Biblical Hebrew Israelites or Jews by Ella J. Hughley. But we all know, and that's just the spirit because, like I said, this book was written or published in, I believe, 1982. So this is going on what, pretty much like 40 years old. But the author actually stated that they used the term black because, to differentiate between the Khazars or the fake Jews that's over in our land, in the land today, as opposed to the true children of Israel. But like I said, I just thought it, auspicious because of the fact, like I said, right now you got the FBI and the government trying to label us black identity extremists and whatnot. So I'm gonna start up where I left off last week. Salakia. Starting off where I left off, I believe. It says, I believe I was in chapter 7, page 40. It says, we also see in the scriptures where enmity commenced between the nations. Esau and Jacob, when Jacob tricked Esau out of his birthright and stole his blessings. And just to expound upon that, people always wonder what is the anonymity between, the so-called white man and the so-called black. And, because it goes all the way back to Esau and Jacob with the birthright. You know what I mean? That's why you got that deep-seated hatred. The following is a summary of this story, and it's going into the story as a spirit. Isaac, the father of Esau and Jacob, which in the spirit was Yahweh Shai. And so Yahweh Shai, the Lord, our Lord, Adawan, he basically gave Esau his blessing. So it's going to take the Lord or Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai to actually take him down. It says the following is a summary of the story. Isaac, father of Esau and Jacob, grew old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see. He asked Esau to go out to the field and take some venison and make savory meat for him to eat, that his soul may bless Esau before he passed away. Rebekah, his wife, heard Isaac's instructions. She therefore instructed Jacob to go to the field and bring the venison prepared for his father and pretend that he was Esau. I'm going to just go to the exact account. Genesis 27. And starting at verse 1. She therefore instructed Jacob to go to the field and bring the venison and prepare it for his father, and prepare for his father and pretend that he was Esau. Jacob was initially afraid because he knew that when his father felt him, he would know that he was not Esau. Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, "Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father." Where it's like, it said, "Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to be Salaki seemed to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing." His mother said unto him, "Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch the venison." And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau and put them upon Jacob. And she put the skins of the kids of the goat upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck, and she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared to Jacob. Jacob came unto his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here am I, who art thou, my son?" And Jacob said unto him, "I am Esau, thy firstborn." I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. 20. And Isaac said unto his son, whether thou be my very son. Well, I'm going to read it from here. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy power brought it to me. Verse 21. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. Verse 22. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice of it. He said, the voice is Jacob's voice. The hands are the hands of Esau. Verse 23. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brothers Esau. And go into that word discern. That's just the spirit. H5 234. Nakar, to recognize, acknowledge, know, respect, discern, regard, to acknowledge, recognize, to regard, observe, pay attention to, pay regard to, notice, to recognize, to be willing to recognize or acknowledge with honor, to be acquainted with, to distinguish, understand, to distinguish and understand. So discern. Just felt I needed to go into that word. Um, him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother's Esau's hands, so he blessed him. Verse 24, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. Verse 25, and he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Salakia continued, and he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Verse 26, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. Verse 27, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. 28, therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. And that's why, the so-called white man, the Edomite, has he actually lives by, the taking of other people's lands. You know what I mean? He lives by the sword. You know what I mean? Um, right now the modern day sword is the gun. And as you can see, he's knocking down Jakes and everybody else left and right. You know what I mean? Right now, the modern day sword is the drone. You know what I mean? If you go into, even Obama, but he's not a Jake. He's a fucking Hamite. But he was good with a lot of people don't even know about that much though. He was good at ordering all them drone strikes. So it said. Therefore, give thee the dew of heaven and the fattest of the earth, so you're going to have the best parts of the land, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Now you heard that. He said, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to serve thee. Be Lord, or Salakia. That, like I said, this is through the spirit. You got to remember, this was through the spirit. The spirit jumped on Rebecca to have Jacob actually, you know, portray to be Esau. And, when Isaac realized that he blessed Jacob, he blessed Esau, gave him a blessing. So I read the wrong part, This blessing is what it really supposed to be like for an Israelite man. Therefore, Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven. So we supposed to have all the best parts of the lands and the fatness of the earth. And, but because we're under the curses, it says, over thy brethren, and he said, let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. Verse 30, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing blessing of Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac. And that's the spirit, because here it comes. His father, the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. Verse 31, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. Verse 32, Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? He said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Verse 33, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and shall be blessed. Verse 34, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And people wonder why he cried and reacted the way he reacted, because at that time, a father's blessing had more, what's the word? What's the it held more weight. You know what I mean? It's weight. I mean, you still living with spirituality and dealing with a spiritual aspect, but people were it held more. Just like how a woman actually respected the male child more so back then than today. You know what I mean? Like you read all them accounts in the scriptures where women had a male child and praised the Lord. And nowadays a man, especially if our nation, get treated like shit. So you know what I mean? Like when a father blessed though, you know, for whatever reason in my spirit, I'm gonna bring up like a personal testimony, like my demon. She always talks about I've noticed certain dudes. Like I got daughters, so one of my daughters favors me more than all the other ones, and I happen to see dudes that got daughters that favor them a lot, and I was always told that means that the child's gonna be lucky. So it's just like at the end of the day, at that time when a blessing was given from a father, just like when Ham cursed Canaan, you know what I'm saying? And that curse hit them to, affects them to this day. So when you take time to think about it, remember, you know, we as the Israelites, we were told to go slaughter all the Canaanites out of that land. That curse affected, you know. So anyhow, continue verse 35, and he said, "Thy brother came with subtil, came with subtlety, and he hath taken away thy blessing." Verse 36, and he said, "It is not he rightly named Jacob, for he hath supplanted me these two times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing." And he said, "Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?" Verse 37, Isaac answered and said unto Esau, "Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?" Verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." Verse 41, Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." Verse 42, and just to, expound on that, and that's to this day. That's why, you got these Edomites, so-called white men, gunning down, you know, Jake in the street, every other day, if not every day. Verse 42, and these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, "Behold, thy brother Esau has touching thee doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee." Verse 43, "Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran." So, continue. The above biblical story describes what happened between the two nations, Esau and Jacob, during their early childhood. Although Esau sold his birthright, his heritage, to Jacob, we can reasonably conclude that their mother, Rebecca, well, hold on, it's in the birthright. Yo. Bear with me for a second. Okay, it say my birthright, H1062. It say Bekarah, birthright, right of the firstborn. So it's a heritage, but the birthright is the right of the firstborn, and the firstborn supposed to receive everything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's true when you watch certain movies. That's why, like when you go into, like the different, the different, like them different like medieval movies with knights and kings and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like usually the firstborn. Like if you ever watch the Game of the Thrones, you'll see how the firstborns, like what was that? The Starks. Remember Rob? When the father died, Rob automatically became the king of the North. You know what I'm saying? Although, you know, they was trying to make it seem like Jon Snow, was a bastard and whatnot. I ain't gonna tell the storyline, even though it's a great story. But any brothers or I can familiar with it. I don't want to tell the storyline, but they say that all really goes back to Jake for real. But I just wanted to go into that word because, like I said, this woman, Miss Hughley, is quoting is make it seem like it was the heritage. Your heritage would be like we Israelites. Being the firstborn or birthright was basically like the privilege of the firstborn. The firstborn, like I said, the law was the firstborn got everything. So that's why Esau was really upset. You know what I mean? Because as the firstborn, he would have had the blessings of the fatness of the whole earth, and now he has to have the fatness of the whole earth by killing, stealing, and destroying. What's that? John 10:10. Continue. To Jacob, we can reasonably conclude that their mother Rebecca was being led by the Spirit. Ain't that the Spirit said? To Jacob, we can reasonably conclude that their mother Rebecca was being led by the Spirit of Yahweh when she encouraged Jacob to obtain the blessing from his father Isaac, thereby becoming heir to his father's heritage. Yahweh had already informed Rebekah before she gave birth that two nations are in thy womb, and two people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And that's Genesis 25 and 23. This was the beginning of the fulfillment of the prophecy when Jacob the younger obtained the blessing instead of Esau the elder. The reader is referred to Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, where this prophecy is also applicable. And that's so deep because that's a double fold prophecy when you go into Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. I'm going to get it just for edification's sake because that's talking about the 2/3, but it's also, it could be applied to Esau. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. And just going into that, what I mean? Like you got the real Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. They're a byword, they call by everything but their true nationality. While you got those converts and the fake ass Khazars over in the land that's getting called Jews, but really don't even, really hold credence to the Bible. They reading out of the Babylonian Talmud and, just defiling the land over there. So, continue evidence of the enmity which commenced between Esau and Jacob because Jacob became heir to his father's heritage is prevalent today between people with different ethnic backgrounds. Some so-called white European Jews claim the status of the chosen people and resent so-called black Hebrew Israelites who are aware of their true ancestry. Isaac told Esau that he would live by the sword, and when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. This conflict is recorded throughout the Old Testament and secular history. The Edomites' relationship with Israel and the history of the Edomites was one of the continuous hostilities and warfare with their neighbors, Jews, Assyrians, and Syrians, until finally they, Edomites, were subdued by the Maccabees and merged with the Jews. In one period, they occupied South Judah. The Columbian Encyclopedia, 1975. So they quote now the Columbian Encyclopedia, 1975, page 883. Also, see the following biblical passages: Genesis 32 and 2, Genesis 36, Numbers 20, 14 and 23, Deuteronomy 2 and 12, 1 Kings 9 and 26, 2 Kings 8, verses 20 to 22, Isaiah 34 and 5, Jeremiah 49, verse 7 through 17, Ezekiel 25, verses 12 to 14, and Mark 3 and 8. It is recorded in the Columbian Encyclopedia that the Romans grouped Idumea with Judea, Samaria, and Galilee in one procurator, Salakia, and one procuratorship. After the destruction of Jerusalem, Idumea was included in the Arabia Patria. I'm going to stop there.